Hello, friends. We're back. And Jesse's here still.
Yep.
So, I've done something in between the last episode and this one. I created a save file in Banjo-Tooie or Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts.
It took like 3 minutes.
Yeah, specifically I created one in Tooie, but you can also use Nuts and Bolts for the same purpose.
Why would you?
Because Nuts and Bolts is a good game. And also, Tooie was like a year later on Xbox Live. So some things have changed about the world. Remember that island I drew special attention to before? Shark Food Island?
Oh.
It's like up.
Big.
What do you think could be inside Shark Food Island?
20 snackers.
Oh no. So, I guess I'll wait until I get up to the top of this.
Why is this a platforming challenge?
It's very easy.
Why does this look like Click Clock Wood?
No, it's like caves. Click Aqua did have a lot of these jumping from cubby to cubby parts, though.
Jeez.
Look, it's a big pink egg with question marks on it.
That does not look like it belongs in this game. What?
That's one of the 7 Stop and Swap items. Yes, as I said, this came out on Xbox Live Arcade prior to Tooie, and originally it was just Nuts and Bolts, so all the dialogue references Nuts and Bolts. But anyway, Stop and Swap was a dumbed out feature in the original Banjo-Kazooie. The plan was for you to do something in Tooie, and then turn off your Nintendo 64, quickly swap the cartridges to Kazooie and turn it on, and the Nintendo 64 stored RAM for like 10 to 15 seconds after being powered off, so it would have RAM addresses that it would look for and say, oh, this Stop and Swap thing has been opened. But they didn't really talk to Nintendo about this at any point, because they figured it wasn't necessary until towards the end of development. And they mentioned it, and Nintendo was like, what? No, that won't work. No! Like, that might work some of the time, but it won't work a lot of the time. It's not going to be consistent. You really shouldn't do this. And also, people might damage their cartridges or consoles. Like, no, you can't do that. And then, to bring it even further, the next revision of the Nintendo 64 after this one, like after the original, only stored data for 2 or 3 seconds. So it became an impossibility. So they had to scrap Stop and Swap. There are cheat codes that you can enter that most people agree are probably debug, that you can use to unlock like the Stop and Swap areas and go get the eggs. But there is no legitimate way to get them in Banjo-Kazooie on the Nintendo 64. Also, look, it's that door I pointed out that will never open. It's open. So yeah, in Banjo-Tooie, since they had already promised Stop and Swap, instead have like hopping Banjo-Kazooie cartridges that jump around, and you break them and the Stop and Swap items fall out of them.
Oh.
Also, they very much reference it. But yeah, when this game came out on Xbox Live Arcade, they decided to bring Stop and Swap back with Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. If you had a save file for Nuts and Bolts then upon booting up this game, all the stop and swap stuff would be open. And it unlocks some stuff in Nuts and Bolts. It's not really very good stuff, it's just some like extra car parts. It's nothing very special. It was honestly kind of a disappointment.
Oh.
But then Banjo-Tooie came out on Xbox Live Arcade, and they restored the original stop and swap idea, which was pretty much what they actually put in the original anyway, so it was still disappointing to a lot of people. Because, like, all the rewards that you were going to get are already in Tooie. They just removed the stopping and swapping aspect of it due to technical limitations.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, people built up in their heads all these years, like, oh, you'll unlock, like, new game modes, you'll get Bottle's Revenge, which was a dummied out gameplay mode I'll go into when we get to Tooie.
Bottle's Revenge.
Yeah. It's a wild thing.
Jesus.
It was made and completely developed and then just dummied out in Tooie, and, like, you could enable it with a Game Shark code and it works perfectly.
Oh.
So, I'll show that off at some point on emulated Nintendo 64 Tooie. But, anyway. Like, all the rewards were still in there, so it was all the same stuff you got earlier, it's just now you have to own Banjo-Kazooie to get it. Which kind of sucks, but, I mean, Banjo-Kazooie's the better game anyway. But, yeah, people were pretty disappointed. But, so it goes. They had a decade of building it up in their heads, so of course it's not going to live up to what they imagined it could be. Like, there were all sorts of crazy theories about, like, spots in Banjo-Tooie that's like, oh, they could totally have, like, a machine or something in here that you would go and use because this is a kind of a weird-looking thing. It's like, people went wild with their theories for Stop and Swap, and they were all wild. Just ridiculous.
That is pretty great. It sounds like the journey to Stop and Swap is better than the destination.
Oh, absolutely. Also, this door's open so we can get that cool key I pointed out the first time we were in here.
Very cool.
So, oh, step in the fire. So, before when we were in here, and I said, you can't get that, you sounded like you genuinely believed it, did you, or were you just acting?
I did kind of believe it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, on the Nintendo 64, there was no legitimate way to get it.
I kind of forgot Stop and Swap existed.
Yeah. Yeah, on the Nintendo 64, there are a lot of very long-form cheat codes you can enter in the sandcastle, which someone found by decoding the ROM. And the only one I have memorized is for the ice key, which is cheat. Now you can see a nice ice key, which you can have for free.
Jesus.
Imagine typing that in with this game's code entry, and then typing in 6 more similar length codes.
Think of, like, the poor testers.
Yeah, like, getting the stop and swap stuff on the 64 was A, pointless, and B, a nightmare because you had to type all that garbage in.
Horrible.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, at this point we're just collecting all of these so we can cash them in when we get to Tooie and Nuts and Bolts.
It's the long con.
Oh yeah. A very long con since this entire thing started in 1998? 1997? One of those?
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's finally come to fruition.
You can just imagine what that would do to, like, a kid's mind as well, just having, like, these weird little things off out of the way with promised rewards.
Oh, I don't have to imagine it. I lived it.
Yeah.
I wanted them bad.
Oh, that. Oh.
Yep,
man.
it was in there. The wide barrel all along. No dialogue for this one. They don't really care so much about the cyan egg.
Hey, yeah, you know, it's our own egg.
I mean, it depends on, like, the order you collect them in. Like, you know, if we had come and got this one first, we'd get the, oh, this might be useful in my Nuts and Bolts adventure.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, yuck.
Some of the hiding places are weird, by the way. Like this, for example.
There are 2 in here?
Yep, there are 2 in Mad Monster Mansion. Also,
why
I
is it...
kind of jumped into that while the camera wasn't showing it. It was the green key, or green egg.
I could hear the jingle and I was confused.
Yeah, the camera doesn't really show it very well.
Why that? Okay, all the other ones were so like, oh, holy shit, that's a thing now, and this one is just alright.
Yeah, then this one's just sitting on the back of a toilet. Which honestly is a very rare thing to do. Just like, yeah, it's just on the back of the toilet.
Yeah.
How many is that now? 5 items total, counting the key?
5 out of 7, yeah.
Yeah.
Curious what the ice key does.
Oh, you'll find out eventually. It's the coolest thing that Stop and Swap gets you.
Seems like the most unique thing.
Yeah. Oh, also the best thing about all of this, which might be a little bit more of a thing to talk about on the Tooie end, but like in Banjo-Tooie, like they did not specify the number of eggs at any point officially.
Mm-hmm.
They said, like, they showed 2 eggs and an ice key, so technically all they had to do to make good was have 2 eggs and an ice key. In Tooie, there were 3 eggs and an ice key that they actually implemented, so the other 3 eggs give you, like, weird things in the Xbox Live version because there were never planned rewards for those ones. But it's like people knew about them since, you know, people on the Rare Witch project dissected the ROMs. That was a big Banjo fan site in the day that still exists. I believe it's the rwp.com now. Yeah, the Rare Witch Project. Big Rare fan site. That was the wrong place.
Uh-oh. I do like how you know exactly where every last one of these is.
Well, yeah, it's Stop and Swap. You gotta know where Stop and Swap is.
Such a weird, ultimately useless thing, but
Oh yeah.
it's great for the imagination.
Remember how important I said the captain's quarters are?
Oh boy.
How much I stressed the importance of this room?
They're very important.
The red egg is in here. You gotta go in here and do it.
Yeah. Whoever the captain is laid an egg.
Yeah. A big red one. Who knows what it might contain?
Gruntilda, did you lay this egg?
Definitely. That's why the rewards are kind of disappointing.
Oh.
Like, ultimately, out of all of the Stop and Swap rewards, like, one thing is useful.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of things are cool. One thing is actually good and useful. Honestly, I feel like Stop and Swap being, like, the biggest wet fart in the history of video games is appropriate for just how much it was built up.
I mean, it's good that it really wasn't much of a thing, because it would imply that there were big features missing from 2E.
Yeah. The thing is, there were big things missing from 2E that people just assumed were related to Stop and Swap, but it's like, no, we just canceled this during development. I'm sorry, guys.
Based on what people have said about how much stuff is in 2E, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, 2E is a huge game.
Yeah, I guess considering how complete Kazooie and its other games are, how much stuff could you put in, like, for Stop and Swap?
Yeah.
At least things that are good and useful that you would actually use throughout gameplay.
Yeah, there's not a lot they can do, especially because, like, you know, as far as useful abilities, there's abilities that are useful because, like, oh, you know, I can use this to solve this puzzle and get a Jiggy, which they obviously can't hide behind Stop and Swap.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's stuff like combat abilities. Well, combat in Banjo-Kazooie is you peck the bad guy, none of your other moves are very useful.
Yeah.
So there's not really much you can do. Because you can't just hide huge content like, oh yeah, there's a full 10th world in Banjo-Tooie hidden behind Stop and Swap, get all the eggs and you get another level, because, like, they're not going to do that.
No.
Yeah, that's something that, like...
It's already a huge game.
Yeah, it's already a huge game, and, like, you can't just say this massive piece of content is hidden behind owning the first game. Okay, let's break back into Nabnut's house for the final egg.
Alright, the locations of these just got very disappointing at the end.
Yeah. It was clear that they, like, put in more than they needed just in case. Yeah, stash them away for use in Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts.
Thanks, Kazooie.
Banjo-Tooie is what you come to Stop and Swap for, but, I mean, they hadn't even officially announced that they were porting Tooie to the Xbox, so...
I think Kazooie and Tooie are what you come to the series for, just in general.
Nuts and Bolts is a good game. Also, you're forgetting Grunty's Revenge on the GBA.
Oh, God forbid.
Everyone's favorite. And Banjo Pilot?
Oh, Banjo Pilot, how could I forget?
Oh, everyone loves Banjo Pilot. It's such a good
Banjo
GBA racer.
Pilot?
Yeah.
Banjo Pilot. What can I say about Banjo Pilot, other than that it's Banjo Pilot? Nope.
So yeah, that's Stop and Swap, but there's actually another important bonus feature in this game that I'd like to show while we're at it.
Alright, give us a bonus.
Oh, it's a bonus, alright. Man, Spiral Mountain's got good music, and you barely hear it.
Yep.
Alright, well, we're back here at Banjo's place. Got some pictures in his house. He's got his fish, Royston. And oddly enough, you may remember when he met Bottles, that Bottles introduces himself.
Uh-huh.
He's got a photo of Bottles in his house.
Bottles, did you put this here?
Let's get a little closer and get a good look at this photo of Bottles. Let's get a good look at this photo of Bottles.
Bottles? What did you do?
Let's get a good look at this photo. There it is! It's Bottles' bonus. It's a mini game. Check it out!
What the hell? Oh my god.
What?
Oh my god.
The amount of work that clearly put into this thing that a lot of people never knew exists.
Yeah, this is great.
It's a full-blown minigame.
Do they use this in Tooie anywhere?
Yes, actually. In Tooie, it's like a major thing.
Oh, those two pieces look the same, even.
Yeah, I mean, like, some of the ones that look the same, it's just a matter of waiting for the game to move. You know?
Yeah.
Since it's a moving video. We did it. Use the tiles on the floor of the sandcastle in Treasure Trove Cove to spell the word Bottles Bonus 1. Bottles Bonus 1 implies there's more.
It does. Oh god.
At least Boggy's not here. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm fucking up bad. I'm fucking up bad.
I can't believe you've done this, Ashley.
I've done it. Some of these are actually, like, these get hard. Maybe not, like, super hard, but...
I like the animation of Banjo slamming the pieces into place.
yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, I feel like someone on the team made this late in development, and it was like, look at this cool thing I made. It was like, this would be a neat way to open worlds, but like, it doesn't work with how we've designed this game.
Mm-hmm.
So they just shoved it in here. Bottles bonus 2. You can guess these pretty easily.
But I guess we need to actually do these to be able to use them.
I don't think you actually do for these.
Oh, fuck this.
Also,
Screw bottles
shit's gotten
game.
fucked up now. He rotates the pieces now.
Oh, no.
You gotta spin them with the right stick.
Oh. Fuck this.
So, this is actually where the bug was introduced that can make it impossible to finish the game. So, as you can probably guess, in this game, you know, obviously the animations aren't... Where the hell does this go? I can't figure out how to rotate it. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, as you could probably assume, these aren't video files. This is just the game playing itself. You know?
Oh.
And when they ported this game and made it so that notes are permanently collected, they neglected to go in and make it so that they don't count if they were collected in Bottles bonus. From the start, it was made not to affect your note score, of course, so you can't be like, oh, I've entered Grunty's castle and I already have 3 notes. So, it created a situation where he would collect them, it wouldn't count them in your note score, but it would count them as already collected, making the game impossible to finish, 100%. He doesn't I think he might have collected 2 in this one. There's a couple of stages that you can miss out on notes. A big one is Mad Monster Mansion, which I think might be the next one. No. Next one's this one.
Oh, man. How many we got?
There's a few of them.
Nope. How have you been?
I'm doing alright. The important thing to remember for, like, the shape is that Jiggies are all shaped the same. Like how to rotate it. Oh, I'm trying to put it there. So you know, like, the out pieces are top and right, you know, every time.
Yeah.
How does this not go here?
It's going all screwy on you.
Oh, it goes... No, that doesn't make...
I would be horrible at this.
Have I already... Where the hell does this one go?
You put one in the wrong spot just above that.
No, because it... Or, oh. Okay, I didn't hear the buzz. Yeah, I'm gonna fail this one. I got my volume fairly low so it doesn't pick up on the microphone, so I didn't hear it go burn out. Oops, I don't know why I tried that. I mean, this is done. I'll just stop it and start again. Because I wasted so much time there. Alright. Let's get our real thinking caps on this time.
Bottles, get this shit out of my house.
Yeah, really, like, why did you build this whole thing?
What the hell is wrong with this guy?
A frustrating thing about it is sometimes you try to put them in the correct spot and, like, the analog's a little finicky, the control. It's a Nintendo 64 analog stick being, like, you know, like, put on a different analog stick, which is something that you need to account for and people don't always. Like, the Nintendo 64 analog stick was garbage. So you need to consider that, like, the sensitivity is going to be way off in any game that you port from Nintendo 64. And these ports don't really consider it. At least not as much as they should. It comes up more in 2E. There are some controls in 2E that are very difficult to manage. Also, this is a difficult one because it's just dark. Like, a lot of the pieces just look the same, you know? Yeah. Bottles bonus 4. I think there's 6 or 7 of them. There's also an achievement for doing all of these.
Oh, typing all these in is gonna fucking suck.
I'm not going to type all of them in.
Okay.
I'm going to type a couple of the big ones in. But like, for the most part, no, typing them in is not worth it. The rest, you can find out at home.
Alright.
Or you could just, I'm sure there's, like, I could probably just link a video along with the post and just say, like, yeah, here's a video that showcases all of Bottles' bonuses.
So how many of these are there?
6 or 7, I can never remember how many.
Okay.
We're on 5 now. The last reward is the big one that we gotta show.
Banging them out quick now.
Yeah, this one's a lot easier than the Nabnuts one. Oh, they collected a Mumbo token. I guess that was also probably collected forever, but it's harder to notice. Since, I mean, there's so many more Mumbo tokens than you actually need.
That would be a pretty funny, like, way to lock the game, though.
Yeah, if they had it, like, one for Mumbo's Mountain that collects one of the Mumbo tokens, because there's exactly enough.
God.
And I think there's 7 total. Here's the big one, because he collects, like, all those notes in the corner.
Oh, no.
And this is why when we were in here earlier, I was like, this is a really important room for reasons that'll become clear later.
Oh, no, Banjo. No, don't pick him up.
They at least did patch this, you know?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it was a big thing at the time where people were like, hey, don't do Bottles bonus until you finish the game. Don't do that. Because it's a problem. And they did patch it pretty quick.
Yeah.
I think saves that were already affected were doomed at that point, but at least future saves were saved.
I can always appreciate a bug like that.
Yeah.
That's a high quality bug.
Yeah, just a whoops, like, you can completely understand how it happened and also why it missed, like, testing.
Yeah.
Because it's not obvious.
Because who would rigorously test Bottle's fucking bonus game and then try to 100% the whole thing?
Yeah, like, not very many people even know this exists, and I'm sure a lot of people
Big Bottle's bonus.
fooled you. I've got one more. Here we go. It's the final one.
He was saying something when it, like...
Yeah, I'm not sure why that didn't happen. Come on, spin right.
I appreciate that I can recognize all these areas now.
Yeah, like, also it's better to do this at the end of the game because just, like, you don't know these areas.
Oh, your time limit is...
Yeah, this is the hardest one. It's also particularly difficult because, like, everything looks the same. Did I put that one in the right spot? No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, again, it's hard to tell without audio sometimes. Or very low audio. I can hear it a little bit. Oh, it's here. And yeah, he collects these notes too. Like, even if you do Bottles bonus at the very start, you can get through every note door in the game.
Okay.
It's just, you can't 100%, truly 100% it. Yeah, I've ruined this. I cocked this one up real bad.
Got really close.
Yeah. Okay, we already read this, Bottles. We already saw this. Bottles we already know.
This is why I hate Bottles.
Yeah.
Bottles, you're a fucking sack of shit.
I took a step forward, so now I have to find the spot again.
Oh, God.
Alright, there we go. He fooled us, by the way.
You fooled us. I hope Kazooie packs his eyes out.
Yeah.
Bottles, I hate your puzzles. Release me from your twisted fucking riddles. Uh-oh, guys. Looks like you've ended up in my twisted puzzle dimension.
Yeah, it's honestly, like, very frustrating with this controller. Because they didn't think about it.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Hey, you still going at it?
What?
You still going at it?
What do you mean?
Don't worry about it.
You think it's doomed?
Don't worry about it.
Alright. Wait, that's not what I thought it was. Look, I got this one.
You got it.
There we go.
I'm glad I could fully witness your triumph.
Yeah.
Shut up, Bottles.
Wishy-washy Banjo. We're done. We're done with Bottles bonus. We've earned that achievement that I already have.
But he will not take the goddamn portrait out of my house.
No, the painting of Bottles will be there forever. Alright, we are
this crab bastard would stay dead.
Yeah, honestly.
Alright, what are we doing first?
We're gonna type in Big Bottles bonus. And then I'll kind of explain what all of the other ones do.
Did you hit the B at the start?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I killed the crab, I hit it.
Oh, okay. That's great mechanics.
Hmm.
Give me an L. Give me an E. Oh.
This code entry is so bad. It's better in 2E, but it's still bad. So, all of them are different, like, big hid mode type things. Big Bottles bonus combines several of them.
Oh, okay.
So you can make Banjo look silly.
Alright.
That's what all of these do. That's why I'm only typing in Big Bottles bonus. You can guess what the other ones look like. I'm not typing all of those in.
So, Bottle's secret bonus, he just curses your dick and it gives you big head.
Yeah. But wishy-washy Banjo. So yeah, imagine typing in like the 20 character long stop and swap codes in this fucking thing.
Horrible.
That was how we had to do it back in the day.
They couldn't implement like the little banjo hand going over a menu for this.
They could have, but they didn't.
Oh, okay, now you can actually play as it.
Yep. And like, you could do stuff.
Oh,
Like, Kazooie may not come out, but it happened.
it's just a model swap.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a silly thing. I'm sure there's things that don't work just because Mumbo said, hey, you're not going to be able to beat the game like this.
Uh-huh.
Rolling's fun. So yeah, there's Wishy-Washy Banjo. And I'm really glad that we happened to get the rare Easter egg of him turning you into a washing machine.
Right before this, too.
Yeah, it worked out great. But yeah, that's there's the bonus video of Stop and Swap and the bottle's bonuses. So the only thing left to do is save our sister.
No bonus.
No bonus.